So today I'm going to be talking about Southern California. So I'm looking forward to it. It's one of my favorite places in California. So I'm excited that we're going to be exploring that. I'm going to try and make sure I give you some educational information, but also there's some of my insider tips as well throughout this. So hopefully you learn some stuff. We're also going to if anyone's again got any questions like last week, if you were on the High Sierra chat, if you've got any questions, feel free to fire them at me. I'll keep an eye out. But I think I'm gonna get ready to kick off in a second. So we're going to do a little road trip around Southern California. So I'm going to kick off because I think we've waited, and anyone else that's coming in can catch us up. But we're gonna what is going on here? That's what we need. We're going to kick off with West Hollywood. So we're going to start in LA. We're going to make our way out to the Orange County beaches. Then we're going to come finish down in San Diego, loop ourselves back to Palm Springs. So we'll cover West Hollywood for LA specifically. Then we're going to cover Huntington Beach, Newport Beach, San Diego, and then again, yeah, like I said, finish up in Palm Springs. Sorry, getting distracted. But like I said, yeah, feel free to ask any questions as we go along, and we'll go from there. But obviously, direct flights from the UK and islands direct into Los Angeles. It's our biggest gateway for California. We have over 60% of air traffic from UK and Ireland that travels into Los Angeles, so it is our biggest gateway, and obviously tons and tons of daily direct flights. Again, we'll see what that exactly looks like once we get through this interesting time that we're in. But pre COVID-19, we were seeing BA with 3 flights a day. We were seeing Virgin Atlantic with 3 flights a day, Aer Lingus with daily flights, United with daily flights. So pretty much majority of our airlines covering. But West Hollywood is what I probably would refer to as the heart of Los Angeles. It's located about 12 miles from the airport. So I've got a little map here that I can show you. I'm gonna pop down, nice and easy, fly into LAX airport here, and then just north is West Hollywood. Kind of sits west side, on the west side of West Hollywood is Beverly Hills. To the east, you've got Hollywood, and then obviously towards downtown as well. What's really nice about West Hollywood is it's a really easy to get around destination. It's pretty much all about walking. There are some hills, so it is a little bit of a exercise walking up and down the hills, but I thought probably the best way to give you the first look at what West Hollywood looks like is to just to play a little video. So let's jump in with this video here once it pulls up, and this is gonna
come on, let's get lost in the moment. Are you free? Come on, believe. I believe in your magic motion. Run away with me. I'm gonna make you feel alive. So show me what you keep inside. So where we gonna run to?
Perfect. So that is gives you a little bit of a taste of West Hollywood. The one thing I think that's for me stands out from that video is it's all about food and drink, and that's definitely a big part of West Hollywood. West Hollywood is very much a vibrant neighborhood. It's very much all about the kind of the food, the drink, the kind of going out. The easiest way to describe West Hollywood, it kind of break it down into its 3 districts. So it has 3 separate districts. So the first district that they have, or the 3 that we're going to kind of go through, is the Sunset Strip, the Design District, and then Santa Monica Boulevard. So just kicking off first with the Sunset Strip. So the Sunset Strip is definitely been a very kind of notary or quite notorious back in the day. West Hollywood actually, as a city, actually sits outside of Los Angeles, so it has its own set of rules, which is quite unique about that. But the reason that it's been for West Hollywood as well is because back when they were making the railroad from east to west, a lot of the rail workers lived in West Hollywood, so it was all about, and they kind of, because they were own city, they had their own kind of liquor laws, which is why it has quite a big drinking and nightlife culture there, which obviously still remains from that. The Sunset Strip was definitely the heart of that, and it's famous for its venues, places like Troubadour, from who people like Elton John got their starts. You've also got the Whiskey Go-Go, Roxy Theatre, there's the Comedy Store. So it's all about the really cool nightlife venues up on that Sunset Strip. It also gives you spectacular views from the sunset, from that part of the Sunset Strip over the city of Los Angeles. So you can see all the way down to town. You can see all the way out to LAX Airport, and also out to the coast. And on a nice clear day, you can see all the way down, all the way right down to almost towards Long Beach. So it gives you like such an amazing view from the top of that Sunset Strip. The Sunset Strip also butts into the Hollywood Hills. So if you kind of were to turn 180 degrees from looking out over the city from the top, you'd then look up the hills, and that's where you'd see all the big homes, obviously famous for the movie stars, and the wealthy elite of Los Angeles that have their big kind of mansions up there. Just a few pictures of the Sunset Strip, the Viper Room, another big music venue. Again, great live music, the Troubadour, and then the Comedy Store. The Comedy Store is really a good one, fun one to go to. You never know who's going to be just dropping in that night. They have a lot of quite famous comedians just drop in. I was there last year, and Ali Wong, for those, she's got a Netflix show. She dropped in and did a set. I actually found her very unfunny personally, but she can be quite funny from time to time. So just heading kind of, if we just drop down the hill, effectively kind of one major block, we come down to Santa Monica Boulevard. And Santa Monica Boulevard is, again, that's going to be a lot more of your restaurants, and that's your LGBTQ district. That's where you're going to have a lot of, again, more restaurants, more bars, but tends to be, as opposed to Sunset Strip, which is all about nightlife and is all about kind of the nightlife venues and more music venues. Santa Monica Boulevard is going to be more your bars, your clubs. One of your famous clubs you'll find down there is the Abbey, and that's famous for their big drag shows that they do. And it is a lot of fun. It's a good laugh to go in and explore that. Explore that section. There's also a great deal of food and drink, and it's also kind of really heart of all the wellness in Santa Monica too. So, in West Hollywood too. On Santa Monica Boulevard. So it's also the legendary Route 66. Technically doesn't exist anymore, but it does kind of in its historic set, and it's actually the westernmost part of Route 66 as well, before it heads down to Santa Monica Pier, where it finishes. Again, if anyone's got questions, please shout them out, but I'm going to go through. And then the last bit is Melrose. Many people have heard of Melrose Place, always a fun old TV show. I think they did a reboot actually not long ago as well. I don't think it did that well, but Melrose Avenue is what we call the heart of the design district. So it's kind of the like fashion design, all of that sort of stuff sits along Melrose. So it's great for shopping, especially your more boutique shopping. but it has tons of your good brands. It's where you find a lot of your Instagrammable spots as well. Things like the Paul Smith wall, which is the pink wall. For those that might not know, that's located on Melrose. You've got the Made in LA sign as well, another big Instagram spot. West Hollywood is full of Instagrammable spots as well, so really good. But one of the things I love about doing when you head up West Hollywood, and again, I've got some pictures here just in the design district of some of the art. Shoe collectors, I like shoes. There's some good shoe shops on Melrose as well, and Fairfax. But it's all about food and drink, and food and drink is definitely at the heart of what you do, what there is to do in West Hollywood. It's very much chill and then head out at night and explore the nightlife. There are so many good restaurants and so many good bars, tons of rooftop bars all throughout West Hollywood. So it's definitely a fun place to go out and explore. I've just put a few of my favorite kind of food haunts in West Hollywood here. So my first picture is of Cicconi's. Cicconi's is a part of the Soho House Group. So if you're familiar with that, they're a private members club started in London. They have a rooftop members club in West Hollywood, and it's really famous with the Hollywood elite. They always like to go there because it's, the only access to that club is via membership. So they opened Cicconi's, which is their Italian restaurant, which anyone can go to. Again, that just sits down on Melrose, right opposite the design center, and is a really fun place. Also a good spot, place to go to spot celebs for those that want to do that. My other favorite, the London Hotel, and I'll talk a little bit about the London in a second further, but great rooftop, and you can kind of see from that picture the beautiful LA skyline in the background there. Catch again, another great rooftop on Melrose, basically opposite the design center. And the design center's just the home of design. It's where they do a lot of design innovation there, and it's a working center, school. They have exhibitions and everything that go in there as well. But again, Catch is a really nice roof bar. Great spot, a great celeb spot. EP and LP is actually my personal favorite bar in West Hollywood. EP and LP, it is right on, again, on Melrose, corner of Melrose and La Cienega. It's just a really cool rooftop bar. LP is the rooftop bar, and then EP for EP and LP, just like the records. EP is actually the restaurant, and that's the floor below, and it's kind of an Asian fusion inspired food. Really, really good food. Highly recommend. Pally House, great hotel, and they have a fantastic rooftop there as well. The only other one I missed out there, and also fits really well into the design district, is Restoration Hardware. Restoration Hardware is effectively a posh furniture store, but they have a really cool roof terrace, so it's worth going in. Can't actually drink up there, but it has some spectacular views over Los Angeles from the top of their roof, and it's all decked out in the furniture that they're trying to obviously sell, which is relatively expensive furniture. Also, kind of final, it's all about wellness as well. It's where you see a lot of the big wellness style brands. Barry's Boot Camp are there. Soul Cycle is kind of where it came out of in West Hollywood. Obviously, anything in terms of the fitness, wellness, it's probably got a home somewhere in West Hollywood, and they absolutely love it. Again, nice little spot to go out and explore. But yeah, tons of yoga studios, tons of health bars, boot camps, etc. And then another thing that's always fun to do from West Hollywood is do hiking in the hills up above. Definitely a good workout, but always a fun time. And then West Hollywood's always been kind of known as the LGBTQ kind of epicenter of Los Angeles. It's where all the bars, restaurants, they host the massive Pride in June. They also do a Carnival in October, right down Santa Monica Boulevard. It is absolutely outrageous, and absolute blast fun time to go and check out. And they're very much, West Hollywood is all about everyone is welcome, and we love everyone. And that is definitely an ethos that that kind of runs true throughout West Hollywood. West Hollywood tends to have a lot more of your upscale accommodation as well. So just in terms of some of the hotel options that they offer. The One Hotel, relatively newer hotel. It's had a few different names that might have known it as the Jeremy, which it was before. It's now the One Hotel. West Hollywood, again, beautiful hotel. The kind of picture here is the two buildings either side of the rooms, and then you've got this beautiful kind of terrace here that looks out over the city to the back. It also has a really cool rooftop bar. It's quite unique though, a bit weird, because when you check in, you actually go down into the basement to check in, and the basement's quite, it's been done very kind of mid-century contemporary. The Andaz, West Hollywood, again, Andaz is located up on Sunset Boulevard, and this is the Andaz. It's got some of the most spectacular views over the city, and it has a really cool rooftop pool. Again, good rooftop bars in there, and a great place to stay. For something that's a little bit more cost effective, the Best Western Sunset Plaza, again on Sunset Boulevard, is a great option. Kind of gives you that retro feel and that retro look, kind of old Hollywood in that picture. The newest hotel, and the one that I'm really excited to get out and actually see, because it was just a building site last time I was there, was the Edition, and the Edition again on Sunset. And as you can see from that picture there, it's just absolutely stunning view, and it kind of gives you that perspective from that sunset view over the city. You can see kind of the sea that sits below it. You can see the skyline in the background, and it has an absolutely incredible swimming pool. The London West Hollywood is actually my personal favorite hotel in Los Angeles. It's where I really like to stay. Again, beautiful views. You're either looking up at the hills and the big mansions, or you're looking out over the city from the other side. Again, just absolutely stunning hotel. Also good celeb spot, as with the Edition, for those that are looking for their celeb spots. Sunset Tower. This is really Art Deco, and this is kind of a throwback to old school Hollywood. This is such a beautiful prestige hotel, and I just love the Art Deco look of it. It's very exclusive hotel. Just recently, Demi Moore was living there, and she was kind of working out getting herself in shape for the film Hustles, I believe. So she was there. Living out of the hotel. A lot of the celebs love this hotel. And I guess my little insider tip here, if you're looking for really good celeb spotting, Sunset Tower restaurant has a great restaurant, and is a hive for the A-list. Personally, when I had dinner there, we saw some pretty big names like Steven Spielberg, Jennifer Aniston, Jake Gyllenhaal, Johnny Depp. So they all love this hotel. A lot of them eat there every week. Best time, again, people always ask me when's the best time to see celebs. Tuesday night. Just fun fact there for you. But Sunset Tower is definitely a big Hollywood favorite. It was a favorite back in the early days with people like Marilyn Monroe, Charlie Chaplin, etc. And it still is today. The Mondrian, great hotel. Again, a great view. This is the pool and the roof bar. It feels a bit weird because the roof bar is on the lobby level, which I thought feels a little bit weird, but I can see why they call it a roof bar, because it does look at, because of where it sits up on Sunset, it looks out over the city. Again, a bit more of a budget option. Next door to the Mondrian is the Grafton. Again, nice kind of solid 3.5 star. And then the Kimpton Lapeer, fairly newer hotel down in West Hollywood. And then for an all-suite hotel, Le Parc is a good option for people that want that bit more space with their hotel. If anyone have any questions on West Hollywood, kind of just brain dump. I love West Hollywood. I think it's a cool destination. Again, if anyone's got questions, fire them away at me. I'm happy to answer. I'll try and get there as I go along. We'll try and get there as we go along. Where are we going to head next? We are going to head, so we're heading to Huntington Beach, another one of my favorite destinations. Another one of my favorite destinations there. So Huntington Beach, so West Hollywood kind of covers us for LA, about 45 minutes south, hit the coast, and we're in Huntington Beach. Huntington Beach is just a beautiful city right on the beach. It's getting a little bit of bad press at the moment. I don't know if anyone has noticed that. It seems to be a bit of a hub for a little bit of a hub for the current riots. But Huntington Beach is a beautiful beach. It's nice white sands, and it's kind of affectionately known as Surf City, USA. And the reason it's known as Surf City, USA is because it gets a consistent surf wave every year. So just in terms of its location, so it's down here. LAX is up here, about 45 minutes, 30 miles south of LAX, and you get here into Huntington Beach. It is quite an easy to navigate beach, and we'll kind of go through it. It's nice and close to Disney, so it makes a great kind of alternate if you've got clients wanting to check out Disneyland. Huntington makes a really good alternative for that, because you're only about 25 minutes away from the park, and it's really easy. A couple of the hotels do run shuttles there in the summer months, so it makes it easy to get up and back. They go up in the morning, come back in the evening post fireworks as well. So it's just a nice little option. It's about an hour and a half, 2 hours south north of San Diego. So another gateway city for us in Southern California. And then Orange County also does have its own airport, and it is a great little airport for people that maybe are flying in from somewhere else, and maybe you're coming in from Phoenix or Vegas or somewhere like that. You could fly into John Wayne, Orange County Airport, and that's only about 10 to 15 minutes from the heart of Huntington Beach, so really easy to get to, and quite a fun airport to use as well. What do you do in Huntington Beach? Huntington Beach is all about surfing. It's all about the beach, and what's quite unique is that's kind of the big draw for it. They call it Surf City, USA, and the beaches are beautiful. It does get this consistent surf wave, but it's a nice easy wave. It's nothing big, it's nothing too scary most of the time, so that makes it nice and easy for you to just go and enjoy the water, enjoy the sand. It's also one of the places that you can it's also one of the places that you can have fires on the beach. They have fire pits up and down the beach, and you can go and put your wood in the fire pit and sit on the beach, toast some s'mores. You're not allowed to drink on the beach, but well, you're not allowed glass on the beach. So if it's in a plastic container, I'm sure you can do whatever you want, but it's just a good place to watch the sun down. So the beach is a big draw. Huntington's really small. It's really easy. It's about 10 miles worth of coastline, but the actual town of Huntington Beach is, again, really walkable. So you don't really need a car. What I tend to find when people are in Huntington Beach is that you just pop your car into the hotel valet, and then it just sits there because everything's really easily walkable. The Hyatt Regency, which is the kind of furthest hotel up to the pier, is going to be about a 10 to 15 minute walk, depending on how leisurely you're strolling. So it's a really nice, easy walk for you to do, and it walks all along the bike path, so it's nice and easy. Surfing, obviously, it's all about surfing in Huntington Beach, where it gets its Surf City USA name, and there's plenty of surf schools for those that want to try their hand at learning. This is probably my favorite surf spot, Michael. I've just seen that pop up. This is probably my favorite surf spot. Every time I'm in Huntington Beach, I will always have a go at surfing. I'm getting a lot better now. I can stand up and ride. But it is just really easy to do, and it's a great little spot to say. But a lot of people, what they don't realize with Huntington, it's got some other little hidden gems in it. So I just wanted to kind of quickly brush on them as well. The Huntington Harbour. The Huntington Harbour's got some really nice houses. You can rent a Duffy boat, which is a little electric boat. They don't really go much over 10 knots, so nice kind of cruise, and you can cruise through the harbour. You can paddleboard in the harbour as well, but just really fun to explore and something a little bit different. That's located just north of kind of the city or the downtown area of Huntington Beach. The harbour's on the other side of the wetlands, which is what we call Pacific City. Bolsa Chica, which is the wetlands. so nice and easy to get up to. There's also some cool little breweries that have just popped up around the harbour as well. So Riptide's one of the new brewing companies. They opened about 18 months ago. They brew all their beer on site. And what's nice with the Duffy boats is you can actually take drinks on the boats. The driver can't be drinking, but everyone else can sit there and drink and really enjoy. And I've got a picture actually of what the Duffy boats look like here. So these nice little kind of cute electric boats that you can potter about in. Back downtown, we've got Pacific City. Pacific City is a new outdoor lifestyle centre there. It's full of shops. Not really about chain shops. That's a very thing about Huntington. Huntington's all about local, and it's all about its kind of supports its local restaurants. That being said, there is a H&M and a Sephora in Pacific City that's about as chainy as they get. But other than that, everything in there is quite unique, quite boutique, and very local to the area. So really good. Some amazing restaurants in there. You've got the bungalows, if anyone's familiar with the bungalow in Santa Monica. Nice place to go and grab drinks at the end of the evening. They opened a second location, which is here in Pacific City. I actually think personally that the location in Huntington is better than the location in Santa Monica. The one in Santa Monica is in what I feel like is in the Fairmont car park, where the one in Pacific City, it's a little bit newer as well, but it has this beautiful ocean view that's just looking out over the ocean, which is really good. But it's also got within Pacific City, you've got I've got some pictures there from inside, some not really cool kind of boutique shops, plenty of places to go and sit. They show outdoor movies here, and then lot 579 is a little food court there as well. Every Tuesday, Huntington does a farmers market. It happens from 5 to 9 on the downtown, so right by the pier. They basically close downtown Main Street off, and you can go. All the locals come out. It's a lot of fresh produce, fresh drinks, and then people selling kind of all their wares from the shops as well. So it's a nice, real local feel. People live music, so it's really fun. Kind of mentioned this earlier, but Disneyland is only about 25 minutes away, again, depending on traffic, but really easy. We always refer to Huntington as Mickey's Beach. Geographically, it's closer. It's probably quicker from Newport Beach, but I think as the crow flies, it's closer to Huntington Beach. They have a little bit of a tussle between them, but just great place. And then Huntington is full of events as well. So the big kind of events they do is the volleyball, which is the picture I have just up on my screen. They do a dog surfing competition every year, and then the Vans Open, which generally happens in July, and that's the pro surfing, and that's Vans is a really established Huntington Beach brand, and Steve, the owner of Vans, founder and starter of Vans, he cooks a barbecue on the beach for people, and he's actually one of the people there making the sausages and kind of grilling away and chatting with people. They also build a skate park on the beach as well. They come in and build a full skate park for this event, like so. And the last big event that we do in October is the air show. So they have now one of the big US air shows. And actually last year, exciting for us as Brits, as we had the Red Arrows fly over and participate in the air show. So that was really cool for us to have a bit of a British flag flying in Huntington Beach. Lastly, Huntington, where do you stay in Huntington? It's really, really simple, actually. Huntington, basically all properties are beachfront, and you have 4. You have the Hyatt Regency, which is kind of the furthest down, more big resort hotel. You've got the waterfront beach hotel. The waterfront's actually just gone to the tower to the right of this picture is brand new. That was when I say brand new, it opened about 18 months ago. It's all suites in there, and it's nice. Anyone that has any health and safety issues with this hotel, which has been a problem in the past, the new tower rectifies all of them. So you could sell that. You just request, can we have them in the Dolphin Tower, which is the new tower. And again, the other thing that a new tower got on the top there is a roof bar. So it's the only roof bar in Huntington Beach. and gives some spectacular views. What's really nice as well with all the properties in Huntington is they all sit along PCH, Pacific Coast Highway, Highway 1. And so you literally cross the street, there's a crosswalk there, you cross the street and then you're on the beach. So it's really nice and easy. We also have the Paseo Hotel. So kind of goes the Hyatt, the Hilton, the Paseo. Paseo, again, new hotel, opened in 2016, 17. So relatively new hotel, again, beachfront. This is a bit more boutique-y. And this Hilton and Hyatt, I would highly recommend for families. Paseo is something that I would recommend more for couples or people with a little bit more extra cash to spend. It's a little bit nice. It's probably the nicer of the 4 beachfront hotels. Again, you can see that swimming pool there. There's a roof bar there, but obviously not as high as the one in. It's not like the one in the Hilton. And again, all with ocean view. What's really unique about the Paseo too is it doesn't matter what room you're in, you're probably going to have it. You're going to usually have an ocean view. So even the rooms right down the far back, you can still see all the way up. The kind of this side that we're looking at is pier side, and the other side will look down towards the Huntington State Beach and down towards Newport Beach. The other hotel is the Kempton Shorebreak. This is located right by the pier. So the other two are about, the other three, sorry, they're all kind of about a 5-minute walk between each other, and they're about a 10-minute walk up to the pier. The Shorebreak is right on the pier, just off kind of a block down from Main Street, and a good option. The only thing that I will say that Kempton doesn't have a swimming pool, but we always say the ocean's your swimming pool for the Kempton. Cross the street and go straight into the ocean. So it's nice and easy. Just for someone that's looking for a little bit budget, but not on the beach, we also have the Spring Hill Suites. And this is a new hotel opened in 2018, so end of 2018. So it's probably the newest hotel, but it's only about 5 minutes from the beach. So it's fairly close. Cool. I've just seen some questions. All these modules that I'm going through, you'll be able to come back into this later. I can send the link out as well, but you can come in and check these out, go through all the modules and learn a little bit more about them. So that's fine. I will share that all with you. Again, if you've got questions, fire them away. But yeah, I'll give you a list of everything after we've gone. From this, now we're going to head on to Newport Beach. Newport Beach, just checking my time, always run over with this. So Newport Beach is located just south of Huntington. So we're kind of making our way down the Pacific Coast Highway down along the coast. Newport is all about, it's upscale. Newport is very much a luxury destination. I've got a little video here, let's check that out.
There is a place where romance and adventure share the same passion, where togetherness sets itself superbly apart, where luxe and laid back are equally alluring, and the fun knows precisely where and when to stop. Newport Beach, journey well beyond.
So Newport Beach is all about old charm. It's very much upscale. It's very nautical. Newport Beach is kind of made up of a harbour, and it's also made up of, you've got kind of the cliffs. It's got some nice beaches. It's got a famous surf beach called the Wedge, which sits kind of on that on the point by the, but it's kind of famous for its harbour. But it's a great place to go whale watching. So that's one of the things I always recommend. People always want to see whales, and it's definitely one of the better places to go and do the whale watching. What I do recommend if you're doing whale watching from Newport Beach is use the company that does the Zodiac boats, the smaller boats, versus the big charter whale watching boats. The reason being, the charter boats are great, but can be hit and miss if you're going to see the whales. The Zodiac boats are a bit smaller, so they limit 8 people per boat. So what's nice about that is they can get a little bit more up close. They can also go further out. So and they're a little bit more agile. So they're kind of looking out, spotting for the whales. And so I tend to say that's the best option option to have. It's a little bit more expensive, but it's well worth it, especially if you're whale watching. But like I said, Newport Beach, just south of Huntington Beach. So you're about an hour, hour and 10 south of Los Angeles or LAX airport. But Newport is very upscale. So you've got the harbour, and the harbour is absolutely great. I've got a little map here just to kind of showcase. So the harbour, Newport harbour, or and you've got Balboa. If anyone's ever seen Arrested Development, Netflix has actually just dropped that series. It's all based set in and around Newport Beach, and basically Balboa is kind of the heart of it. So quite funny. Some old school Jason Bateman. But yeah, Newport Beach is very much, I keep saying upscale. A lot of celebs have their homes down in the Newport Harbour. Again, another fun thing to do in Newport Harbour is get those Duffy boats. Actually originated in Newport, from what I understand, and you can take them and drive them and see some of the big houses. People like Cher, people like John Wayne, Nicolas Cage. They've all got homes or had homes in the harbour, and you can go and kind of explore, see them, etc. So behind you've got Fashion Island. So Fashion Island is a huge outdoor shopping center. It's going to be more your luxury shopping, your Gucci's, your Louis Vuittons, etc. And it's definitely your high end. There's some hotels there as well. I should say Balboa has a new hotel there as well, and I'll go through the hotels in just a second. And then just kind of south of Newport, you come down into the coves as well, say Crystal Cove, and that's going to be really nice beaches that you can walk on. I was actually weirdly looking at some photos this morning, and came across a few from when we were walking along the beach there in Crystal Cove about 18 months ago, kind of reminiscing. That I'd have to be back in California at the moment, but hey ho. But Newport also has a pier, and that's kind of its South Surf Beach, Balboa Pier, but people tend to more explore the harbour or more inland in Newport than versus the beach. This is a picture of the Wedge, and the Wedge is it's a pretty fun surf spot. It can get pretty big there as well, but it's quite a famous California surf spot. I personally prefer Huntington because it's just a little bit for surfing, because it's a little bit more spread out. When the Wedge, the wave that it gets is quite tight, hence why there's a lot of people. Crystal Cove used a lot in filming as well. A lot of movies shot here because it's a little community down here. Some really quirky beach huts or beach shacks down here, which is quite fun. Kind of going through Balboa, but yeah, the kind of what the homes look like, massive yachts and boats, multiple boats there as well. And again, I said whale watching. I've seen some pretty spectacular whale watching there. Sam's just jumped on, and I'm talking about whale watching. Sam was with me when we saw some whales in Newport Beach. It was amazing. And then very much fine wine and fine dining in Newport as well. It's absolutely lovely. Where to stay in Newport? Newport is, again, going to be more for your higher end client. So the Lido House is the newest hotel in Balboa Island, and it's quite a cool hotel. It's a 4-star. It's a part of the Autograph collection. It's a 4-star because it's not a 5-star, because that doesn't have full spa facilities from my understanding. So, but a great option sat right down in on Balboa Island. You've got the Balboa Bay Resort as well, another great hotel. This Fashion Island Hotel, which I haven't had a chance to upload, but I'll upload that shortly as another good one. And then the kind of the flagship hotel in Newport Beach is the resort at Pelican Hill, and this is an absolute beautiful resort sat up on the cliffs overlooking the ocean. It has the largest circular pool in California, and possibly the world. It is a massive circular pool, and they have a combination of bungalows, which are what they call their hotel rooms, and they've also got a villa product as well, which is set separately. It's also got an amazing golf course as well for those that like golf. It's a pretty cool course, and you see a lot of celebs playing. A lot of celebs also, usually the older ones, when they kind of get sick of the LA Hollywood life, they move down to Newport Beach and buy their big homes down there. Lisa's just asked, is there a better time of year for whale watching? So that's a great question as well. Best time for whale watching, in my opinion, in California is May or kind of October. They tend to be the best months. The reason being is when the whales they tend to be at the most active in their migration. So what happens is in October, they're kind of heading down towards the Baja Peninsula of Mexico, where it's a little bit warmer, and then they kind of migrate their way north from around now time, May kind of April, May, June. So that they tend to be the best times for whale watching. Peak summer is fine, but not so much. If you're going for whale watching, I tend to say get on the shoulders, better value as well. Resort at Pelican Hill also has some amazing restaurants. Again, some spectacular views. So and it's sat just outside of Newport Beach, but it is a beautiful property. Newport also hosts a film festival. We do an honorary film festival up in the UK, in London, usually late January. If anyone's had a chance to get to that, it's always a fun evening, and we work in conjunction with BAFTA on that to celebrate a lot of films, and we celebrate the British film industry, but we also do that in Newport Beach as well. So heading south from there, we're going to head down to San Diego. We're going to do a quick whip through San Diego before we finish up. But San Diego sits down, southernmost city of California, sits right down on the Mexican border. It's really close to the border of Mexico. San Diego as a city is made up of its neighborhoods, and that's probably the best way to explore it. My photo is looking a little blurry now, but the Gaslamp Quarters, the downtown kind of core, the Gaslamp Quarter is definitely more for the nightlife. It's also where you'll find Petco Park, which is the San Diego Padres baseball stadium, which is located right downtown, which is quite unique. You kind of stumble out and you're right into the heart of the restaurant and the bars in the Gaslamp Quarter. Also downtown is where you'll find a lot of the attractions, and I can talk through the attractions in a bit. Little Italy, one of my favorite regions in San Diego. Little Italy is very obviously Italian, great Italian food. It also has some amazing Mexican food. Basically anywhere in San Diego has good Mexican food. But there's some really cool restaurants, and it's definitely a little bit more upscale. So it's probably where I recommend to go and stay when you're in San Diego. I've got a picture here of La Jolla, La Jolla, as people quite often refer to it, but La Jolla is located up on the northern beaches of San Diego. It's a little artistic colony, so it's a home for artists, and it's definitely more upscale. Some amazing restaurants that sit out on the coast overlooking the ocean with some absolutely spectacular views. So definitely highly recommend going up and exploring that area. You've also got the legendary Torrey Pines, which has a really famous golf course. The Torrey Pines is one of the big kind of famous golf courses. They also have the lodge at Torrey Pines, a great place to stay, more for your higher end clients, being a 5-star hotel. We've got Balboa Park. Balboa Park is Michael's just asked Pacific Mission area or La Jolla. I would say depends on what you've got, depends on your clientele. If they're more upscale couples, then I would say La Jolla. If you're looking at families, then I would put them in Mission Beach, Pacific Beach. I've just realized I've forgotten to do a slide on that, so good spot. But Pacific and Missions, where you've got more your kind of resorty hotels, 3-4 star hotels. They sit on a big bay. They're really close to SeaWorld. And obviously the beach of Pacific and Mission Beach, and you've got a little theme park on the beach there as well, a little boardwalk park, which is quite fun. Balboa Park, massive park. It's actually the biggest park in the US. It's bigger than Central Park. It's home for the San Diego Zoo. You've got Air and Space Museum as well, 2 really good attractions in the park. The park's definitely worth going for a bit of a stroll through or drive through. It takes quite a while to get through it. There's different ways you can see it, but this is kind of right up at the heart of Balboa Park, not far from the museums. And there's a ton of museums in there as well. I kind of highlight the Air and Space Museum, just because kind of pays homage to space travel as well as air travel. But you've got, you know, a sport museum, motor car museums, etc., a bunch of different other museums, and then the San Diego Zoo as well. Old Town San Diego, sorry, I'm whipping through this. Old Town San Diego is kind of original San Diego. It's where when they were migrating up from Mexico into California, it's where they kind of stopped and built a little mission town. So Old Town's really good. You'll find the best Mexican food here. Such a Mexican influence. And it's absolutely stunning. It's a really cool little area just to go and stroll around. You need a couple of hours. You could stay down here as well as some properties in and around here, but a good little place to stay or to check out. Hotel del Coronado. The Hotel Del is pretty iconic hotel, circular hotel, and this is located on the opposite sides. You go over the Coronado Bridge from kind of the downtown area onto what's like a little spit, and that's what Coronado Island. It's also the home of the Navy SEALs, which is basically next door quite funny. You will see the SEALs training running up and down the beach, jumping out of helicopters into an ocean, or from the deck of the Hotel Del. The Hotel Del is, or the Hotel Del Coronado, every US president except the current one has stayed at that hotel. It's a little fun fact. It's the only current president's the only one that has refused to stay at that hotel, but every other president has stayed there. Currently also going through a big refurbishment. They're refurbing a lot of the original rooms, just bringing them a little bit more dated. The original rooms are a little smaller. It was built back in, because when it was built, they kind of built their rooms a little bit smaller than the traditional US now, but it's definitely, even if you're not staying there, it's worth going there. What's nice to get around San Diego as well is they have an Old Town trolley, and the Old Town trolley is really easy to jump on and get around. It stops, you can hop off, you can hop back on, explore the different regions, and it's a good way to really get under the skin of San Diego. It takes you Balboa, downtown, Embarcadero, which is right down on the water, and I'll talk about it in a second, but over to the Hotel Del. It doesn't get up to La Jolla though, but it does get you kind of in and around the main area. So down, quickly mention the Embarcadero. Embarcadero is kind of the front side of San Diego, down by the San Diego sits on a harbor. But what's famous down there is the USS Midway and Sea Point Village. USS Midway is an old aircraft carrier that was used, currently now decommissioned and made into a museum. A bunch of fun, again, really fun for families to get on, explore that. You can get onto the deck, you can climb up into the bridge area, you can go under the deck. So there's a ton of stuff to see in and around in there. I remember when I went there for the first time, I was on my own, and I was like, I'm just going to pop in for an hour, just have a bit of a look around. 3 hours later, they were kicking me out because they were closing. It's so fascinating. They also have guys with yellow hats, just the insider tip. The guys with the yellow hats, they're all ex-servicemen that have worked on the ship, and they're there retired, and they're there kind of explaining what their role was when they were on the ship and what they do. So it's really nice to get some inside knowledge, and they usually do talks throughout the day. SeaWorld, everyone's got an opinion on SeaWorld. I have a neutral opinion on SeaWorld. They're a great partner of ours, but there is a SeaWorld in San Diego. And finally, there's also the San Diego Zoo. San Diego Zoo is quite a popular zoo that we have in San Diego, located in Balboa Park. I like it because it's got koalas, but you've also got giraffes and stuff that you can go and see. So kind of moving on now, just to wrap us up as we finish, Greater Palm Springs, as it's affectionately known at. Palm Springs is located in California's deserts, so about 2 hours from San Diego, if we kind of head inland and north. And we're also about 2 hours, 2.5 hours from Los Angeles. So it's kind of in the middle, kind of meet like a little triangle. We call it the SoCal Triangle, LA, Palm Springs, San Diego. That's what my little Maps. Peter, you can't, as far as I'm aware, you can't stay on the, they don't do USS Midway overnights unless they do it as like a special event, but they don't generally do overnights anymore. They host a lot of events on the Midway, but they don't, you can't actually stay there overnight. They do sometimes, I believe, open it up as like special one-offs, but generally you can't. But you might as well stay downtown at one of the hotels downtown. Hope you got that. Hope that made sense. But yeah, back so Palm Springs, yeah, into the desert. What's really unique about Palm Springs is it's actually massive. It's one place that when I remember the first time I went there, I didn't realize how big it was. Oh yeah, here's my map. So kind of you got LA, you've got San Diego, and then we kind of head out into the desert. Let me just jump into exploring Palm Springs. So Palm Springs is made up of different cities that sit along the kind of along the valley. So we call it the desert oasis. It's a spring, so it's nice and green, surrounded by mountains. The mountains get snow in the winter, which is really cool because it's quite warm in Palm Springs. It's pretty temperate, like pretty nice all year round. But the mountains surrounding it gets really cold up there. They get snow because they're quite high. No skiing, but you can see snow, and then the snow melts off in the kind of around now time, this kind of the spring summer, and melts and kind of fills up the valley. But you've got the town of Palm Springs. Palm Springs obviously made famous with a lot of the LA celeb crowd, especially from back in the day. You've got Cathedral City. Cathedral City is more kind of, we call it the working class area of Greater Palm Springs. Rancho Mirage is going to be your real upscale. That's you're gonna find your Ritz Carltons there. You're kind of really high end. It's home of the Thunderbird Club, which is the most exclusive golf course in Palm Springs. So a lot of gated communities in Rancho Mirage. You've got Palm Desert as well. Palm Desert is where you find the El Paso, and that's the Rodeo Drive, Palm Springs. So all your famous shops, very similar to Rodeo Drive in Beverly Hills. They've kind of mirrored that into Palm Desert, and Palm Desert is definitely an affluent community as well. Some great food and drink options there. Indian Wells is where you tend to find that the Hyatt Regency Indian Wells takes up most of Indian Wells. Huge property, a couple of golf courses on there. But it's also home for the tennis center as well. So they do the Indian Wells tennis tournament. They also do polo. So a bit of British tie there. That there's polo fields in Indian Wells as well. La Quinta's home to the La Quinta Hotel. Again, a ton of golf courses in that area. And another affluent area of Palm Springs. Indio, which is again a little bit similar to Cathedral City, and then you've got Coachella, and Coachella is where you'll find the obviously famed music festival. Coachella happens in that kind of the bottom end of the Coachella Valley. Yeah, Coachella, it's a fun festival. If you can get tickets, highly recommend going. What's unique about it versus something like Glastonbury is a lot of people will stay in the hotels throughout Palm Springs, and then you'll kind of make your way via the shuttle routes in, so you're not necessarily camping. Palm Springs is really famous for its mid-century modern architecture, so tons of architecture, mid-century style in Palm Springs. And then I kind of didn't mention Desert Hot Springs, but Desert Hot Springs is kind of a region just outside, a little bit more rural. It's where to get into the desert. Joshua Tree National Park is just outside, just on the opposite side of Highway 10 there, down kind of towards where Coachella is where you'll find Joshua Tree National Park. Absolutely stunning. It is so spectacular for a national park, and it's a little bit underrated as well. I think a lot of people think national parks, they think Yosemite, they might think the Redwoods, but Joshua Tree 100% is a national park that I highly recommend checking out and going to. But yeah, I'm just wrapping up, but thanks, Kira, for that message. Appreciate that. We have everything that I've been talking about in this webinar does have, you can access that. So I'll send the links out after, and you can come back and kind of go through it at your own time. It's got so much that I'm trying to get through. Just a few more fun things to do in Palm Springs. You've got the cable car in the town of up in Palm Springs. The cable car is the aerial tram that will take you 360-degree rotating tram, and it takes you right up to the top of the mountains. Gives you a spectacular view over the valley, so you can see all the way down towards Coachella, and just past Coachella you've got the Salton Sea, so you can see all the way down there, and then you can kind of see everything kind of as it comes up. Good hiking in Palm Springs, but Palm Springs is all about relaxation and chilling, laying by the pool. It's kind of our version of maybe Florida, more of a kind of flop and drop, lay by the pool. All the hotels tend to be big resort hotels. Just to have a look at some of the hotels before I kind of finish up. So Hyatt Regency Indian Wells, one of the most popular ones in the British market. Again, huge. They've got 2 18-hole golf courses, and actually Palm Springs is famous for golf. It has over 127 golf courses listed throughout the valley. So if you like golf, it's definitely a place to go. And they have everything from your really easy your public courses all the way to real high-end gated members-only clubs. So they kind of have the whole spectrum. The Riviera, Palm Springs, again, you can see the mountains behind the back. The JW Marriott, another great one. They do a really fun lazy river. You can just sit in and just soak up the sun and enjoy. The Parker's one of my favorite hotels. Upscale, kind of designy hotel, quite famous with the celebs. The Quinta, another great hotel with a couple of golf courses on them. The ones further down the valley have a lot more space. I remember staying at the Quinta once, and they give you a map. You get an app on your phone to find where your room is, because it's so big, and trying to find your room is a bit of a mission. But yeah, I've got there's a ton there, and feel free to kind of click on them, check it out. But there's a lot of properties. Obviously, Ritz-Carlton in Rancho Mirage has spectacular views as well. That looks out over this valley. It's also a really great place to stargaze as well. So highly recommend that. But it kind of takes us on our SoCal road trip. Sorry, there's a lot of information I'm just throwing at you there. If anyone's got any questions, feel free to hit me up now. Otherwise, thanks for tuning in. Again, all of these lessons are now live on the website. So if you sign into training.blackdiamond.com, should take you in, and you'll be able to access any of the webinar lessons that we're looking at through our mobile platform. But there's a ton of information here. Alternatively, if you've got any questions, feel free to email me. And yeah, should be good. But hopefully everyone's learned something. And yeah, thanks for stopping by. I hope everyone enjoys their Wednesday. For those that are wanting something a little bit different, Adam's going to be jumping on tomorrow, and he's going to chat Pittsburgh, but we'll go Northern California next week. Yeah, thanks guys. Hope everyone had fun. Take care. Hope everyone's well. And it makes me want to go back to Andy. But yeah, take care everyone. Have fun. We'll see you later.